think we have a connection so far. Mic check test. Peace. How's it going, guys? Check.
They're firing! They're firing! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!
That's weird. I'm getting playback on the video. my computer, but I'm not getting it back on my Droid. Try a different way. Should we do a teach-in how to use Ustream? Citizen journalism? Anybody interested? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No. Should we do a teach-in how to use Ustream? Interesting. It doesn't seem to come up on Ustream if I pull it up on the internet. Because I can see that I'm live. Yeah, there we go. So it comes up on the internet, but it doesn't come up on the Ustream software. Although it does seem to be lagging more. Probably because I'm pulling all the bandwidth. Well, that looks pretty good. And I'm just trying to configure some of these channel settings here. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, just playing with me equipment. Trying to see what happens if I try to log into multiple Doesn't look like the basic's gonna work. I wonder if we use the software on the computer, I can do that at the same time. Let's see, Ustream producer. Okay, that looks like that's working. Except looks like I can't do that either. Well, the Ustream producer software on computer doesn't work while I'm using the Cerevo live shell setup. You guys want to see what I'm doing here? Check this out. So I've got the camera mounted on a stick, and that is connected to the Cerevo live shell, and I have an extra battery pack connected to it for portability. Can't really see what it is, but it's just a device I have hooked up here. It's kind of my makeshift Ustream backpack. What was that all about? Oh, that was weird. Huh. So, basic file. Well, there's probably a good 15-second delay here. Wonder if I can get Ann Smith to call in. Have a little chit chat. See if she's online. And for those of you that are watching, if you want to go check out the Facebook page, Occupy the Odyssey. I just made a couple posts there. One of them's 1984, the George Orwell movie from 1956. And there's also a Hulu link. That first one's on YouTube. The second one's on Hulu. Also, I was at the March Against Monsanto in Boulder yesterday. You can also see the video compilation and march from the Ustream. Well, it was uploaded to YouTube, but I originally recorded it on Ustream. And there's a few photos that I added in there during the march. And that'll take you to my website, independentcitizenmedia.weebly.com. You can see it on top of the screen there. Huh. Sounds like we're getting some activity in the background. I don't know if you can hear the sirens or not, but it seems to be busy out here middle of America, small town. And they just went by. So, let's see. Don't see a response yet. And apparently Facebook was banning pictures of March Against Monsanto that had children in it. My post wasn't banned. I didn't have any problem with it. You know, there was a child in the shot that I took there. Like I said, if you look on Occupy the Odyssey on Facebook, a child wearing "I am not a science experiment" sign hung around their neck. I saw a post on Facebook that various other pictures were banned, censored from Facebook. So there, I guess I have a contradiction to that report. All I can do is report what I see, what the truth is. I guess that's what journalism's all about, right? Having an unbiased opinion, or at least reporting what you see as the truth. Looks like I got a response from Ann. She might be able to call in here. She only has a few minutes, but let's see. I'll take in on this one. Ann? Hello?
Hello.
You there? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Maybe she can't hear me on that line. I have to get my other microphone. I'll hang up and call her back. Come on. You there? Okay. I'm gonna have to use my phone instead of the computer. For some reason the microphone's not working. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So how have you
Are
been?
you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I've been good.
Excellent.
Are we on or off?
Oh, we're live. Yeah, I was just testing out the equipment. It's working good now. I was a little frustrated the other day when the camera wouldn't come up for me, so I could do hands free. But went to the backup using the old Droid and carrying it in my hand the whole time. That kind of sucked, but I don't know, I think it was worth it. It was a good march. There was very little police activity. I saw one cop before the march and two passed by after. And they were real friendly there. They were real friendly in Boulder.
Well, that's good.
And virtually non-existent. So yeah.
Well, it must have been peaceful then.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, either that or they were. How many cops are in Boulder? Do they have a big police force there?
Not real familiar with the size of their police force, but I know they, are one of those cities that have a larger than normal police force per capita. I mean, it is kind of a rich, high-end community.
Okay, so that's why they probably didn't think there was anything going on.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it was everybody was touting they wanted to be peaceful, and it was it was very peaceful. I mean, you know, great discussions, and a lot of people were upset with the fact that A, there wasn't more people there, and B, that Monsanto is doing what they're doing, and the corporatocracy of it.
Right. But it really did come to me, honestly, it just like hit me between the eyes. Because, there's nobody that's done a more intense job with Monsanto than myself in terms of the posting and the, researching and all that other stuff. And then all of a sudden it just hit me like, wait a minute, what are we doing? We don't need to do anything. We don't need to protest. We don't need to write our legislators. We don't need to care if they do a Monsanto Protection Act. If every single person would just simply buy organic, we would bankrupt Monsanto, literally. I mean, I don't know why
possibly
we're going around the block to get where we need to go when it's right next door, It's like we're taking all these extra steps that we don't need to take, and then people say, well, you can't buy organic because it's too expensive. That's not true. Grocery outlet, Walmart, all these other places are now starting to carry organic. I was just at
don't say Walmart. Don't say Walmart. You're not allowed to say that on my show. I'm just teasing.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just teasing.
I wouldn't go there either, but I'm saying if it means buying organic to close down Monsanto, then do it, So anyways, I don't think there's any excuse for anybody not to be eating organic food and shutting down Monsanto at the same time, and we don't have to do anything. To me, that's such a strong voice. It's a strong way to take back our power and take back our food. How many people are pissed off at Monsanto, but yet are walking right by the organic section at the grocery store? I saw people today buying lettuce that wasn't any more expensive, that was non-organic, right next to the organic, which was the same price. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Are people just ignorant or what?
Well, I think, that's probably a good way to put it. They're ignorant, and ignorant isn't, some people see it as condescending, but when you know not the facts, you are ignorant. That is the definition, right?
Well, you know what? That's really interesting because, because mainstream media and outlets to educate the masses aren't picking up on this, I don't think people really understand what they're eating. They may just think organic is just some weird hippie thing, and that their food is perfectly okay. Maybe we have to step back, and I'm thinking that everybody can buy organic, but maybe it's only educated people that can buy organic. Maybe we have to educate people on what they're eating. I don't know. It's mind-blowing now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's funny, Ann, because I go around and besides, doing the show and going to protests, I talk to people every day and ask them questions anywhere along the revolution of chemtrails, Monsanto, GMO, 9/11, you name it. Just try to get topic of discussion sometimes started. I'll ask somebody if they're familiar with the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and when they don't know what that is, I try not to laugh at them, because there's a lot of people in a variety of age groups that don't know what those boats are, or that they're even boats.
I'm sorry, that's asking a lot of people to know.
Yeah, I mean that's just
They just
that's just our history, you know. I mean, how is it that somebody in high school doesn't know something simple like that? I mean, I can understand being brainwashed by the fact that there's all that media coverage for 9/11, and you know, people are being told still that it was a terrorist attack when we know damn well that it was a terrorist attack. It was plotted out and conceived and hatched by the CIA and the FBI, whoever those special people are that did it.
Halliburton. Don't forget Halliburton.
Halliburton, well, Dick Cheney, Bush. I mean, even if Bush didn't know for plausible deniability, he's got to be an idiot to think, you know, I don't know. Maybe he is an idiot. I believe he's an idiot for sure. But I digress. What were we talking about before?
We're talking about trying to educate the dumbass masses of people.
Well, how do we do that?
I think it's hopeless. I think we should just buy a boat and go float out on the ocean someplace. It's just stupid.
Well, you know
what? The next person, the thing that really kind of irritated me today was these people that, I'm on welfare, I'm on disability, I can't, did you catch any of that? I can't eat organic, and this is just, you're being stupid, you're being wrong. Okay, and then I just said, well, you know what, I don't really give a shit. Go ahead and eat GMOs. See if I give a shit. I'm going to eat organic. Go right ahead. I'm not stopping you.
Right.
And that's the kind of mood I'm in. It's like, okay, you know what? If you want to argue with me about it, go right ahead and eat poison. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's like, I'm not making a suggestion that's hurting them. It's helping them.
Yeah.
And what is this analogy of I can't afford it, therefore I have to eat poison?
That's where the
if they really believed.
That's where the fluoride kicks in, you know?
Well, and then the person says, well, we have fluoride in the water, we have this in the ozone, the ozone, this and that, we're being killed all around. Okay, so then give up then, Listen.
You sound tired.
Give me one excuse. A little bit. Give me one excuse. I'm just looking for one excuse to just start smoking and drinking and drugging and being and never leave my couch. I would love to do that,
Well, that's
give me one reason to do it.
That's the is what it is attitude, and I'm, I can't make a change because it's hopeless, and I have to go by society's rules because that's the way society thinks, because it's majority rule and it's a democracy, and there's no free thinkers out there that can handle what we do, and I hope you don't give up, because it's people like you and me and the rest of the revolutionaries that get out there and do the protests and continue streaming events and things like that will make the change. I think I see it happening. It's just slow. It's always one of those things that's slow to reteach people that what they've been taught is been a lie, and that they need to reevaluate the reality of it. That it is what it is an old saying that's gone. It shouldn't be used anymore, because that's how we got into the problem that we're in now. I mean, what have they done to clean up oil spills and stuff like that, or prevent them from happening? Things go to the cheapest bidder, and then things fail. They break. That's why you have shitty service at restaurants. That's why you have failing bridges, or besides the fact of the austerity and other cutbacks. But I digress. I could go on and on. One subject leads to another. You got the politicians getting paid millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, millions of dollars a year between all of them, and yet we have to make cutbacks in our schooling system and our roads and bridges and our forest services. You know, that's bullshit.
Well, it's all interconnected. It's all about educating people. But I don't know. You're right. I don't know how we can educate people. You know, if we just got back to the issue of Monsanto and GMOs, and you know, I just was kind of fantasizing in my mind if I was standing there watching people buy lettuce that's been heavily sprayed with pesticides and insecticides.
Right, and it's poisoning.
And they have the organic selection right next to them, but they don't choose that. If I tried to educate them, would it help? And I don't think it would, because that person's belief system is that what they're eating, yes, they may be eating pesticides, but they've been told it's so small of an amount that it won't bother them.
Well,
so I don't know if I could educate someone
you
and
know,
change their mind.
That's funny that you say that, Ann, because ever since I was a child, I mean, common sense and common courtesy, what do they have in common? They're both rare. Anyway, since I was a child, I've thought about genetic modification. You know, these are things that were coming out when I was, 8, 10 years old, that were starting to be topics, and I heard about it, and I said, that can't be good. Genetic modification, fucking with nature like that. How do you teach somebody common sense? I don't know. I've been working on it for a long time, and sometimes it just takes a big slap to the head and a big fat insult to tell them that they're stupid and that they need to wake the fuck up. Sometimes you can shove it down their throat and they won't accept it.
Sick,
What's that?
even when people get sick, I know people who have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, which is brought on by their diet, and they know that if they changed their diet, they would not have type 2 diabetes, and they won't. They refuse to. I mean, it's like you can't help people help themselves.
No, I mean you can't force it down their throat. You can't make them do it. You can't make them change their eating habits or their exercise habits or whatnot. But sometimes I think a little negative encouragement works just as well as a little positive encouragement. If you call America fat, lazy, and stupid, or Americans fat, lazy, and stupid, you're not lying. You're just saying, what's the honest truth is. And if they don't like it, then you can point out why they're fat, lazy, and stupid. Because that's the way society has groomed them to be. They're ignorant because the school system's fucked up. They're fat and lazy because of the fluoride and the other poisons that have been put in their food and water. It's not their fault, but getting them to realize that and see that, that's, I guess, what we're talking about now, is how do we do that?
Well, that's it. How do we do it? I mean, how did other people get educated? I don't know if it's a willingness to learn. I mean, if it's just within you to do it. I think
genetics, maybe. Have you seen Idiocracy?
No, well, I think one thing is you have to hear the message over and over and over, and a lot of people who aren't on Facebook, who aren't in any social media, Twitter, anything like that, who are relying on either their local newspaper or Fox News, they're not getting the information. That's one thing I will say.
No, they're not getting the information, and they're being pumped full of false information, making them. Excuse me, R2, I'm talking. So when you've got people that are being brainwashed, and that's the military term for it, or the term that I like to use, because that's what it is. When you teach somebody something that's not true, it's brainwashing.
And you know what else I realized is that probably people who have 401ks do not realize that they probably have stock in Monsanto.
Yeah, they probably do. They very well could. I mean, just think what would happen though if people started going out and withdrawing all their money and cashing in all their bonds. I mean, that would be the economic collapse, would it not?
It would be a huge economic collapse, and I don't think people would do it for that reason. They're just going to wait till it collapses, and then
it's already collapsed. It's on borrowed time right now. The thing is most people don't know that it's collapsed, so they just, keep going through those revolving doors at work and stuff, trying to make those payments and go on vacation and whatnot. But we've gone up 1.6 million people on either food stamps or some sort of government assistance, unemployment, since 2009. And 1.6 million up is not what I would call getting better, from the recession. I mean, we have actually moved into a depression. People don't know it. White men can't get work. Black men can't get work. Mexican men, they can get work because they're willing to work for $8 an hour. And if you take the factoring of a 1964 wage of $1.25, and you got to remember that $1.25 was silver quarters. So that would be valued today at about $25 and change per hour. So for people to say that $8 an hour is a good, $8 or $10 an hour is a good wage, it's above minimum wage. Fuck that. That's the most retarded, backwards ass thinking, especially when you figure in, how much the companies and corporations and the CEOs are making. When you see that ExxonMobil or somebody made $500 billion last year, excuse me, that's fucking off the charts. CEO.
It's interesting. I was watching something today about how, they're always saying that they can make the product cheaper overseas, and there was this guy talking about how, that in American companies that they can cut about 30% of the cost of goods just in stupidity, the way they run the company, And then the other problem is that the CEOs are taking so much money that if they were spreading that back out into the company and into the employees and into wages and stuff, that we could run very efficient companies that could compete with overseas. It's just that it's just so imbalanced.
What's funny is over the last four or five decades, since the 50s, since major production started happening. I mean, I guess it started in the 40s. Ford started in, what was that, the 20s. Production in the United States from United States, American workers, has gone up more than doubled since it started. So how is it that we have people saying that Americans are lazy or something, which I myself said, but a lot of them are. Production values have doubled or even tripled or quadrupled in some cases. And so I'm doing the work of 2, 3, 4 people, yet I'm only getting paid for half a person for my value of my knowledge and experience. And that's why I won't take a job for $8 an hour, because it's below, it's below my standards. It's below a standard that I can use to live and, looks like I lost Ann. A standard that I can use to live and pay my bills and child support and, you know, be able to buy groceries or food, you know, excuse me, food. I'm getting late. 10-hour day, 12, 15-hour day. Hey, Ann, you back? The FBI cut in what?
Is the FBI cutting us off?
Something, I don't know. I just had a huge brain fart. I'm saying food and groceries at the same sentence. So they must have done something. No, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Maybe it isn't as...
No, it's been a long day for me. I got up early.
Cool.
I've been concentrating all day, working hard on spreading some information around, and I'm mentally exhausted. Physically, I'm awake. I drank a coffee a while ago and some energy drinks, so I guess you could say I'm a little fucked off, right?
Well, if you've had energy drink, see, I can't drink an energy drink at night because it's got too much something, whatever that's in it.
Yeah, well, it was a few hours ago.
Sleep.
It was a few hours ago. Well, yeah, 3 or 4 hours ago, but.
Well, I'm rethinking my fabulous idea for shutting down Monsanto. I'm thinking that there's not enough people who know about buying organic.
Yeah.
You know, and even if the number of people who went to the protests, if they just bought organic, see, because my belief is that half the people who are bitching about Monsanto are not even buying organic. So, you know, I mean, I don't know if even that number that I'm talking about, if I could just get...
Whoa. Hey, you gotta stop hanging up on me.
I think it's the Monsanto or FBI. Even if we got let's just say we got the awakened people to do it. I don't know if that's a big enough crowd to make a difference in their profits. So, I don't know. I think my big idea is not a good idea.
I think any idea
I mean, it's a
that...
good idea. I just don't think I can get it done.
Well, if you spread an idea out like that, you know, I mean, people start latching onto it. I mean, that's pretty much what we're already doing. It just needs to be, you know, pushed more. I mean, the idea, somebody actually said, what I talk about all the time is, when we were at the march, they said that go out and talk to your neighbors, talk to the rest of your family, tell them about it, educate them. I mean, you got to know what you're talking about first before you start telling them to go look into something that you're not real familiar with. But, I mean, you and I are familiar with it, and there's a lot of other people that are getting more familiar with it. So,
well, I give those classes on the paleo diet, but most of the people who come to them already know about all that shit, you know?
Right, well...
I'm thinking about, could I get my neighbor across the street who buys farm-raised salmon because it's on sale every week? Could I get them to shop organic and believe that there was a problem? Probably not, you know?
Maybe. Well, I mean, just, you know, sometimes they're neighbors, so they're friends of yours, instead of being forceful with it, you know, like I suggested, you know, I mean, which...
What, telling them they're dumb shits?
Well, if you're friends with them, you might want to be nice about it, and then if they don't take to it, then that's when you start getting a little more aggressive and telling them, yeah, that they're dumb shits, and that, you know, after that, you pretty much just give up hope. I mean, you're nice about it, you're mean about it, and then fuck them. You know, there's only so much you can do, and no need wasting your time on somebody that's not going to listen. You know, I meet a lot of people that listen to me the first time, and I've gone back and talked to people, and they're like, "Hey, man, I checked out your website, and that's some pretty cool stuff, and thanks for the information." So, just getting somebody started down that rabbit hole of the conspiracies of, chemtrails and poisoning our food and poisoning our water and stuff like that. That really goes a long way, because next thing you know, you tell them also, once you know your shit, you turn somebody else onto this, because that's the only way we're going to, save, I guess, human dignity the way that it is, the way that we
You
were.
want to hear something funny?
Sure, I always love something funny.
Listen, you want to hear something funny?
What's that?
They only serve organic food at the Monsanto cafeteria.
I know. I know.
That cracks me up. You know that? It's like, even they won't even eat their own product, but my stupid neighbors will.
Well,
Oh, God.
some people are stupid. If you think that the scientist that's making the damn stuff isn't going to eat it, why the fuck would you?
I don't know. I'm beginning to think that, I don't know. I think that what happens is that eventually we do the right thing. It just takes a long time. Like evolution takes a long time, and ethical evolution takes as long as physical evolution.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just ahead of the curve. It sucks to be in on the beginning of the movement. I'd rather come in towards the end.
Well, the end of the movement's going to be probably another 500 to 1,000 years, because we've got a long way to go before we get to change the problems that we've created.
My dog's breath is so bad.
Huh.
She needs to eat more GMOs, non-GMOs.
More non-GMOs. You feeding your dog GMOs?
No, she gets that really good food. I don't know if it's got. I try to be sure that it's that blue, whatever the blue is. It's mostly vegetables and.
I'm
I
not.
don't know. Her breath stinks. I don't know. Maybe she was chewing up on a bone or something. Who knows?
I'm not familiar with that.
She takes some shit.
Haven't had a dog in a few years. My dog died. Got old.
Sorry.
Nah, it
Well, they
happens,
get old
right?
when they die. That is true.
So,
So I guess that what we're saying is that I think we're too tired to
politicize?
change the world.
Oh, no, I'm just too tired right now to really get too deep into it. I was just actually testing the equipment, and I thought I'd throw you in for a minute, and we got into some conversation, and I'm still playing with the equipment. I've got it on portable mode, so I can carry it around and in the front yard and connect it to the Wi-Fi. It looks like it's working, from what I can tell.
What have you been up to anyway?
What have I been up to? Let's see, we'll put this here. Well, besides the march, not much. Just taking care of business, doing research, legal research, political research, general Associated Press and news research, citizen journalism research. Trying to find contacts, looking for communes and communities that are still active. I guess there's only really 3 that have been active since for over 10 years. I think there's one it was like 20 years or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
In California? Or What state?
Let's see. There was one that was in. I think it was in Missouri. I think there was one in either Washington or somewhere on the West Coast, Oregon. It might have been in Cali. I can't remember. And then I'm not exactly sure where the third one was.
So are you looking for one to go to?
No, just doing research. Just
Because they have the ashram one in California, but they're nutcakes, those people.
well, no nutcakes for me. I don't need any of that.
Well, like a lot of them are like really religious, you know.
Well, that's one thing. But if they're fanatical, it's another thing. I mean, you know, and I'm not too keen on religion being forced down my throat, especially when religion is the cause of all wars and most of the problems in.
Well, I think this is like the
Ooh, got some lightning going on.
Hare Krishna kind of thing.
Check this out. Watch and see if we see some lightning in the background. Hare Krishna.
Well, it's kind of like that.
You know what's funny, Ann? Usually,
Well,
there's a tower over there that's usually all lit up. It's not as bright tonight as it normally is.
what's a tower? What kind of?
You know, one of those radio towers. It's got blinking lights on it, but they're dimmed down tonight. Like the last 2-3 nights, they were hella bright.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. I cannot tell a lie, but I am not sure. Oh, there's some lightning. I wonder if the viewers get to see it.
You know, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so.
Well, they keep saying stuff like that around here, but we keep seeing what I call a squall, where the water starts to drop but it never hits the ground. Usually we don't see that until summertime, but we've been seeing a lot of that this spring.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have a cooler summer, or we did have a cooler summer last year, so I don't know.
You think it was cooler last year?
Of course, wait a minute, it's just the end of May, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, it was pretty hot in Boulder yesterday.
No, it's been really, really, really nice here.
Well, I think I'm going to run back inside. Yeah, I think the spring's been pretty nice, but the thing is global engineering. We could talk about that subject maybe tomorrow. If I get another wild.
Tomorrow, because I gotta go now, because I gotta watch Mad Men.
All right, you watch Mad Men.
But thanks for. It was a good talk because it made me think about my great idea not being so great.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I mean, as long as we keep pumping ideas out there and trying something different than the norm, you know, and buying organic, eating organic, local farmers.
Well, I'm gonna keep
That's a great
saying
idea.
it, but I'm not going to put as much faith. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm just not going to put as much faith in it.
Okay. Well, you go watch your show, and I'll talk to you later.
What was that?
I was shutting down
Okay.
the garage where I'm staying. I'm house sitting.
Oh, okay.
So I actually have a place to sleep inside.
You're going to sleep inside. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Peace, Ann. So I actually have a place to sleep inside. Yeah. Alright, peace, Ann. Yeah. Huh. Looks like video was working. Cool. Wasn't sure if it was working the whole time or not. Thanks for joining me. We'll be doing more broadcasts and talking about, normal major topics of the day, I guess. So, once again, thanks for tuning in. Peace, love, and solidarity. I'll give that a minute to run out before I kill it.